The original version of the Alpha Foxtrot 1911 S15 ran flawlessly for more than 1,000 rounds without cleaning. That's a pretty lofty goal. Could the version 2.0, the new and improved 1911 S15, meet that goal? Well, I finally got it out to the range. I haven't got 1,000 rounds through it yet, but I did shoot it, and we're going to talk about it. Well, thanks for joining me while we take another look at the Alpha Foxtrot new and improved version 2.0, if you will. S15, a 15-round magazine, so 15 plus 1, using standard Shield Arms magazines. These are designed for the Glock 43X and Glock 48, but they're in a 1911 style gun that is so far, well, you have to go back and look at the video I posted on the S15 versus the Staccato CS, so just to see the difference. And then if you go back to the original S15 video, you can even see the comparison with grip with whatever with several other single stack 1911s. The S15 version 2.0 is rapidly becoming my favorite compact carry type pistol. Right, so again, we went over all the specifics in the first one. I did get it out to the range several times, and I've run so far only a little over 350 rounds of ammunition through it. Last range trip, I put a lot of defensive ammunition through it, shot it left hand, and so far again, only 2 failures, but those weren't gun related. Those were strictly ammo or operator related. We'll talk about those. A couple of things before we get into it, though. Again, we went over all the specifics in the first video. The trigger is getting a little better. It's down to right now around 4.5 pounds, which I can certainly be happy with. One thing I'm sure some people may complain about. It's a non-issue, though. You see that they'll complain that, gee, there's a hole in the frame. Well, debris can get in there. You know something? There's all sorts of openings in every firearm frame where things can get into if you toss them in the dirt. But when you go for a slightly wider frame in the back, and you've got to be able to get a high grip on it in order to be able to run it properly with the thumb on top of the safety, then that's one of the trade-offs in order to have that blended in. And they did a very nice job of blending on this. I did just over 100 rounds in just a few minutes in my last range trip with no discomfort at all, no hot spots from the beaver tail or the contours of the grip or anything on my hand. But again, in order to get everything contoured on a slightly wider frame, by the way, the whole gun is narrower, but the frame is a little wider at the top than you'll see on, well, even a standard 1911. This is also an Alpha Foxtrot, but single stack, and the frame is just a little bit narrower where the thumb safety is. So again, to get that contouring, that is going to happen, but it's a non-issue. People make a big deal out of it, or some people do, but again, it's a non-issue. A couple things I do like about this, and I think that help its accuracy, or certainly the reliability. The frame rails on this, instead of being full-length frame rails like they are on a typical 1911, are shortened. There's a gap between the front and the rear, and I've seen that on a couple other high-end guns that have allowed this gun to work very, very well. It also reduces the friction, but in addition to that, the polished DLC coating on not only the slide, but also the barrel, and as I understand it, on the frame rails, make this an extremely smooth gun. This gun feels well above its price point. Price point on this is going to be right around $1,400, give or take, whether or not you order a threaded barrel. And there will be an optics cut available on it, as I understand it, coming out in July, and that'll be potentially another option. So threaded barrel, yes or no. Optics, yes or no. As options. The only thing I wish they would also offer as an option is the rail. I'd love to get rid of that, but everybody seems to want a rail on their concealed carry defensive gun these days. Can't figure that out, but again, I don't want to get into a long controversy on that one. The gun itself has been running 100% flawless, and again, it's 353 rounds to be exact, in just a few range trips. All right, another question that comes up is, what about holsters? This is a little different, and it's a little challenging actually on holsters. The old Don Hume belt slide obviously is going to work for it. Not real super secure, but it does fit if you need one. Let's see, I've got a Galco holster that I carried a Glock 19 in for a while, and yeah, I'd leave it fit that, although there's a lot of gap up here at the thumb snap, so not necessarily the best idea, but it'll work. But polymer is the rage these days, so I dug out the crucial concealment holster for the staccato. Doesn't go in. However, I also came up with the Weber Tactical Trifecta. Now I understand that this is no longer in the catalog, at least this particular trifecta, but it does fit. This was designed originally for the Staccato C. It does fit the Alpha Foxtrot very, very nicely, and I've carried it in this, and it works quite well. I also got a black point holster for the Staccato C2, and I did have to make just a very minor modification to make this one go in nicely. It does lock in place and fits. The end of the threaded barrel comes right to the end. Of course, the C2's got a slightly longer barrel. I did have to take a little bit of heat to the end of this to widen it out for the thread protector, but it does work, and another option for carrying it. So, do I like it? Oh yeah. How does this thing shoot? All right, let me talk about the only two failures that have happened on this gun in the first 353 rounds. Number one was a failure to chamber a round during firing, and I inserted the magazine, but I didn't do what I teach all of my students to do. I pushed the magazine and it didn't have it fully seated. That's not a mag issue, it's not a mag catch issue, strictly a user operation issue. So one shot, it chambered the first round, but one shot dropped the magazine out just a hair, and it didn't chamber the second round. So that's a user issue, and no fault of the gun or magazine or anything else. The second issue that I had with it was with a SIG V Crown. I had one failure to fire, which really surprised me because it was a good primer hit, and the gun still, the round didn't go off. Not a gun problem, because again, it was a good solid primer hit. Now, I put that round back in the mag and did fire the second time, but it leaves me a little bit concerned about the V Crown ammo. But again, I don't think that's a gun issue. Other than that, this thing has been wonderfully accurate. I'm going to roll some footage here in just a minute, but I do want to mention that my last trip to the range, I had a shoulder issue. It was a little uncomfortable to get the gun up into firing position with two hands right-handed, so I did some left-handed only shooting, and here's again where that forged ultra match barrel and the polished DLC slide, everything being mated together as a precision machine, or almost precision instrument, although it's not measuring anything, but where the accuracy of this gun really came in. Even left-handed, one hand, standing without support, I was able to hit everything out at 50 yards, including the 6-inch plate. Now, it took me a couple of shots to get it, but that certainly attests to the accuracy potential of this gun. I am absolutely 100% impressed with it. With iron sights, I was doing better at 50 yards with this gun than I was with an optic on the Staccato CS at the same distance, same place. So we're going to roll the footage in here, and I'll shut up for a while you can watch some of the performance of this gun.
147 grain SIG V Crown, and my right shoulder's giving me some trouble. So maybe I'll stick to the left hand. Nah, I'm going to do two-handed. What the heck. Not going to be able to get full extension, but we'll work on it. Go ask Alice while you're at it. And the green sitting prairie dog. What? Oh, there goes the prairie dog. Let's run the plates. Five rounds left. Go over to 25. And I'm going to go back to left hand. Let's do the raccoon. And how about the head? Can I get the head flipper on that black silhouette? All right, can I get it back? It's a 6-inch plate, basically. I think it ricocheted off the edge of the head flipper and got the silhouette itself, maybe. All right, there's a barely see it, a 10-inch kind of still silver finish next to the red silhouette. Can I get that left-handed? No. Do that again. There we go. There we go. Head flipper on the black silhouette. There we go. How about the crow? about the 10-inch to the left of the red silhouette. How about the green standing prairie dog? White 8-inch with a red center. Come on. 12-inch next to it should be a no-brainer. Can I do the little 6-inch over there on the left-hand side? White one. I guess I can. Start with the silver gong on the left. White 16-inch, green center, high right. White 12-inch, red center below that. White 10-inch, black center to the left of the 16. 8-inch below that, white with a red center. There we go. White 6-inch to the left of that.
All right, as you can see, this gun runs, and if you can see my face right now as I'm talking about it, there's a big ear-to-ear grin on it. I really, really, really like this gun. We're still going to do the 1,000-round test on it. It's going to take a couple of more weeks to get there, depending on the weather and how often I can get out to the range. But this thing will, maybe longer than a couple of weeks. But this gun is going to run 1,000 rounds. No more cleaning. I did take it apart and inspect it and lube it, put it back together when I first got it. I have not done anything since other than shoot it and wipe it off and shoot it and wipe it off again, and it's still running. Real happy with it. So stay tuned for the 1,000 round wrap up coming up, hopefully here early summer. And again, the Alpha Foxtrot S15, just a wonderful, wonderful carry gun.